Hey friends, it's Neil here from Post to Post. I'm hoping that we can have a little chat today about the leaks that just came out over the weekend about the Seattle Kraken Winter Classic jersey and the Vegas Golden Knights Winter Classic jersey. We're only going to talk Seattle in this video. I'm not going to talk about Vegas and that jersey because I'm waiting on some information from someone in the industry. They have not gotten back to me yet on that. So I want to save that for a separate conversation in the next video, essentially, hopefully tomorrow or the next day. If you're not subscribed and you want to see it, please hit the subscribe button. But today we're going to talk Seattle Kraken, the leak jersey. We'll look at it, we'll talk about it, but the mentality behind the leak, was it intentional, was it not intentional? It's all very confusing, and I'm a bit dumbfounded actually by both leaks from different entities at the same time, essentially. It's very strange. But we need to rewind, okay? Let's go back some, all right? I'm going to throw this graphic up on the screen, and this was back in August, I believe it was, and this was when the Winter Classic logo was released, which is amazing, by the way. Love this logo. But you'll see that around the same time, there were two very low quality mock-ups of hats that were released as well, or leaked essentially. The one on the left is Vegas, the one on the right is the Seattle one. At the time, we weren't exactly sure if this was legit or not. Now we know that they are, but that was our first indication of the, I guess, thematic behind both teams was back in August. And this graphic, by the way, does come from sportslogos.net. Wonderful site. It's one of those ones you should bookmark. Not a sponsor, just, I like to promote great things, and sportslogos.net is one of those great things, one of those great sites. So that's our first impression of the theme of Seattle. Now I want to bring up another one from the same site, which kind of shows the side, both sides actually, the front and all that stuff. So I remember when these came out, and I didn't talk about it because I wasn't sure, right? But now that it's essentially confirmed, I think this hat looks really good. I love the teal, the brim. I like the logo on there. That looks really good. And that leads us into the jersey that's leaked. So let's bring that up. There's only two images as I'm filming this right now. And I could have filmed this on the weekend, but honestly, just skipping ahead a little bit to the controversial release of this or potential leak, I wanted to wait to see if Seattle said anything on social media before I talked about it. So I gave them a few days. They've said nothing. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But as far as the image, or the jersey rather, I'm happy and disappointed at the same time. I'm happy because they embraced the Metropolitan look from long ago, back when the team won a Stanley Cup as the Metropolitans, and we'll take a look at that old jersey or a variation of it in a little bit. But so I'm glad that they embraced their past, and it's a Winter Classic. That's if you're going to do it and you're going to bring it back for an event, this is the one. You want to bring it back for the Winter Classic. Or an alternate. We'll talk about that a little bit later as well. But this one here is, I'm pleased that they did it, but I'm disappointed that they only went halfway. To me, this is just a little bit of a taste of the Barber Pole Metropolitan jersey from the past. It's not the full thing. And if you're going to go to the Metropolitan look, I feel like you got to go all the way. So I'm a little bit disappointed from that perspective. However, it's not a bad looking jersey. It does look good. There are some questionable things happening on the jersey. I don't necessarily love the logo being all red, because I think one of the best things about the Seattle logo is that little red eye in there. It just piques your interest a little bit. It stands out. And it just gets lost in here for me. I would even maybe consider changing the eye to the teal or a darker blue or something. Right now, it's just almost too much red, but I understand that they're trying to replicate the look of the old Seattle Metropolitans logo. And the red does look good on the dark blue, on the teal, and on the off-white. It's a nice logo. It's just not exactly what I would have done, essentially. Now the shoulders are a bit, and here's where it falls for me, because the bottom stripe of the off-white, good. The teal, good. The blue, fine. It's a little bit, taller, but still good. Back to the off-white, good. Teal, good. Back up into the blue. It's there needs to be something else up here, and I think that's where it falls off for me. I'd like to see that another stripe follow the seam line almost. So I don't love I like how clean it is up there, but I don't love the shoulders. I wanted another stripe up there or something. The other part that I didn't like was the fact that the NHL logo, which is this here, notice where it's placed on this jersey that I'm wearing. It's very close to the front of the neck. Well, because the Winter Classic jerseys are designed a little bit differently, and they have that more of that sweater appearance neck that comes like this, the logo can't go on it. There's a seam right there. The logo doesn't go on there, and it has to drop down onto the actual jersey material here. Well, then there's confliction with the logo, and if you're using a tall logo like this, then you have the NHL logo essentially almost touching. So it just looks, it's very cramped in that section. It feels very out of place. It looks like it should not be there. Like when I look at an Adidas jersey like this, it looks normal. I'm used to it. But looking at this, it looks a bit off, honestly. Let's look at the next image. It doesn't show us too much more. We get to see the underarm because Buddy's waving here. But I mean, again, it's not a bad jersey. It's just not what we want. It's not what we wanted, the majority of people. And that segues me into the question mark of, is this all they're going to do for the Metropolitans? And thinking about it, I don't think it is. I think because this is a Winter Classic, you get the one-off. You're only going to wear this for one game. So yes, the logic dictates that if you're going to go Winter Classic, go all the way with the Metropolitans, but at the same time, you want some longevity out of the jersey. So maybe don't go all the way. Maybe don't do that. Save that all the way design for a future alternate, maybe in 2024 when Fanatics comes in, maybe the year after that when materials switch up a little bit. I'm not exactly sure. So I understand both logics of the play here from Seattle from a marketing perspective, but I don't think this is an L. This is not an L jersey in my opinion. This is not a loss. It's an okay jersey, not exactly what we were expecting, but it's not absolutely terrible. I think the majority of people can kind of agree with that. Now the release of this is the most confusing part for me. So let's break this down. The Seattle Kraken jersey was leaked by basketball players, which on the face is very strange. Why would basketball players be wearing this jersey and leaking this? And the question goes, is it intentional or was it a mistake? Was it an actual accidental leak? Or was it a planned leak? Is this a marketing move? And that is the answer that I'm trying to find out. That's why I'm holding off on the Vegas video, because I'm waiting for a concrete answer from a source that I have. I'm not sure if I'm going to hear back, so I might make the video anyway. But I don't want to speculate. I want to know, and I want to give you guys that information. But right now, in this video, all I can do is speculate. Hopefully in the next video, I can give you some concrete answers. But as for speculation, it just doesn't make sense, because if you use the logic that's like, oh, well, you know, it's an intentional leak. The NHL, Seattle, whatever the event is trying to gain interest in the event by sneaking this in there on a different sports platform or whatever. And if you think about it quickly, it's like, yeah, okay, that's kind of neat. That kind of does make sense. But when you really think about it and break it down, who are they pulling in? Anybody who is watching basketball is almost certainly majority basketball fan. They're not even really going to notice what the players are wearing. And if they do, they'll be like, oh, that kind of looks like a hockey jersey. And that's kind of it. So are they marketing to basketball fans? And if they're not, if they're marketing just to get conversation going, oh, it's like, oh, you know, we want people talking about this jersey. Okay, well, think about who's talking about this jersey. Are basketball fans talking about this jersey? No. Do you know who it is? Hockey fans. The same fans that would be talking about it if it was just a regular jersey release. So logically, that makes no sense. The NHL Seattle is not getting all these extra people to talk, like suddenly care about hockey and talk about hockey, because the only people that are talking about the jersey that have noticed it are hockey fans. And any new fan that they would possibly get, basketball fan or not, from this little sneaky release would be so insignificantly small. We were talking about a 0.01% of people that could potentially become a hockey fan. Like it's just such an insignificant marketing move. It doesn't make sense. But the more time goes on, and the more that nothing is said by Seattle or Vegas, or not even any comment or meme or anything, like Seattle likes to meme and Vegas definitely likes to meme. So the fact that there's been no public statement by either team or the NHL on these leaks kind of makes me think maybe it was intentional, but I just don't understand the logic behind it. And the same goes with the Vegas leak that happened in a wrestling broadcast. It's the same thought process. You're not going to get all these new fans from a different sport. Like it just doesn't really make any sense. So I have to assume that, like, if I'm breaking this down, the best that I can is that there was a planned release and it got delayed. So this wasn't an intentional leak. This wasn't an accidental leak. This was a breakdown in communication between the NHL, and other sports, and possibly there are other branches that we could have seen this jersey come out, maybe in different sports or wherever. And you know, those conversations happened and the releases didn't happen, but maybe there was a communication breakdown between the wrestling and the Indians basketball team. I don't know. Additionally, the basketball team that wore it has nothing to do with Seattle or Vegas. So it's just so confusing. It's just such a confusing conversation. And that's why I reached out to some contacts, because I want to get the concrete answer on this. I want to know if this was intentional. If it was intentional, it seems like a really silly marketing move. If it wasn't intentional, either way, it makes the NHL look bad, because intentionally you've leaked a jersey that not really anyone cares about, other than the people who would already talk about it if it was just a regular release. And if it was a mistake, then it looks bad because you don't have your seals tight. Okay, you've got leaks happening, and that's not good. So it makes the NHL look bad, I think, from both perspectives. I am eagerly awaiting an official release from the Seattle Kraken or the NHL or Adidas or Vegas or whoever on these jerseys. It has to come soon. It has to be any moment now, any day, any hour. We have to get the official release, and I'm very curious to learn more on this. So, 2 topics here, the jersey and the release. I would love your opinions down below in the comment section. What do you think of the jersey, and what do you think of this release? Was it intentional? Was it a leak? Or was it a miscommunication breakdown? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. As soon as I find out the information that I'm waiting for on the Vegas jersey and this entire release, I will make a video. In that video, I will discuss that, and of course the Vegas jersey and my thoughts on that jersey. That's a very controversial one. A lot of strong opinions on that jersey, so would love to have you on board. If you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and join me for that video. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. If you did like this video, hit the like button. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.